So here we have what's known as the trumpet tree, and it's called that because of the trumpet looking flowers. Let me see if I can find, there may be one on the floor. Okay, here's one that's freshly fallen and it has that kind of trumpet look. So, and these are all the leaves that I've either taken, I've cut this back, or they've fallen. Now it's not really a big backstory. Where I used to live, there was one of these trees, and I used to see it flowering, and there used to be this heavenly scent that I assumed came from this tree, and so I took some of the seed pods, which again, I've got some videos on my gardening channel that show you this, but anyway, so I took some seed pods, and I think, was this one the first that I planted, maybe, but I've since got several, and it was by accident that I came to this one actually and was looking on the floor. It wasn't as wet as this, but I saw a leaf and I thought, I wonder if. And that started my journey on stitching on leaves and doing other things on the leaves, which I've now developed a course which goes through all the things that I've done on leaves. Obviously, there are other things that you can do and that other people are doing. But I decided to grow several of them, and now I've got an endless supply of these shaped leaves, and they do grow to different sizes. And we can have a look at some of the other ones in different spots. Look at the size of that one. That's amazing. I have tried to pick some of these larger ones because I've been using a lot of the smaller ones, but I have tried to pick and dry them, but I haven't had any luck, so I need to wait for nature to do its thing. And we've got some really nice specimens here, but they need to develop a bit more. But let's go and see some of the others. That tree there, that's one as well. I've trimmed it back since, but I've got a lot of leaves from there, and it's grown fairly large, and you may be able to see a couple of the flowers up there. But here are a couple of leaves that had dropped, and I really like the look of them. They just need to dry out, and as you can see, we've got loads on the floor, but it's just rained, so they need to dry out. But some of them look really lovely. They've gone through their decomposition state, and some of them go even further, but I pick the ones that when they look like that, that they're not gonna degrade any further. And closer, we can see a mixture of other leaves that have fallen. We've got some mango leaves over there, but I haven't really used them. But look at the root system. This one is just like really grown tall. So what I will do is trim them off, and I normally just place them in my deadwood hedge, and they dry out nicely here as well. Some of them, right. Oh, look at this one. It's dried out, but it's kind of got a kind of sheen to it, so I would just press that and then I could potentially use it. The other thing I did was to try and plant some around the edges of the garden. So we've got where the seeds fell, I made sure that I tried to put some along the edges so that they could grow up, and I'm just going to allow them to grow, say, to this height and then keep them trimmed. But they'll bush out, and again, it's another supply of leaves that I could potentially use, so I'll never run out. And again, when I trim the branches, I put the branches in here, and then you can see some leaves drying there, and they look really nice. Those ones do. I have to come back for those. But that's the trumpet tree that I initially planted because I thought it was going to be a scented tree. I was going to have some scent in the garden, aromas, but it's actually provided me with a supply of leaves that I can stitch, I can paint. They hold really well. They're quite durable. You still have to be delicate with them, but you know, you can use them for many different applications, especially creatively. And I haven't even exhausted, just trying to see if there's any more along here. I haven't planted any along here, but I haven't yet exhausted their use, so it's great to have a supply of leaves that I can just experiment with. Got another one here. I cut this one back pretty hard. That's about as tall as it can go, but I've allowed all the leaves just to gather around the base, and I also put it on other beds as well. And then once it's dry, I'll see if there are any of these leaves that I can use, but I really wanted some of the larger ones to form and develop so that I could do some larger projects. But yeah, that is my trumpet tree, or a variety of different trumpet trees. The flowers are a light pink. We've got one coming up just there, and I'm really pleased that I found out that I could use the leaves in that way, and they hold up really well. And I'll show you some examples of some of the projects that I've done. But you know, join us on the leaf art course, and you can see how you can experiment with different leaves, and then you can see what leaves you've got in your environment. You know, you don't have to have the exact same ones as I do. I'm not sure whether you can get them online. Some leaves you can from some places, but yeah, you know, come and join us on the class. It's a self-directed class, so you'll be able to see all the different ways in which you can work on leaves. And obviously that's not an exhaustive list, but it's some of the ways, and you can have fun with what you have in your environment. So I look forward to seeing you soon. Take care for now. If you are on one of my tiers for Patreon, you will be able to apply a discount code to the leaf art course. Take care for now.